I'll say we're talking. Your license registration insurance card?
Already buy it?
No, not yet. I'm about to buy it.
Will not be televised. Maybe one day. But it's happening right before our very eyes. Globally, worldwide, as a mass of humans have been summoned to plummet and meet their demise. But maybe one day we'll finally get some answers, instead of having that same old dance being done around bushes to our questions. Maybe one day my people can feel equally accepted, safe, sound, respected and protected, and not like lower-class citizens with this governed system working against them. Maybe one day we can cast a ballot in an election for candidates whom the people have requested, where we might actually be able to relate to that individual selected. Man, forget it. I must be merely dreaming, or is it wishful thinking? It could be both, depends on how you look at it. They all one and the same.
Maybe one of these days, the phrase Black Lives Matter will be more than the words we say. I mean, why does that have to be a distinguished statement anyway? I breathe like you breathe, and you bleed like I bleed, and our ancestors fought for us to be free, so why is bodies laying cold in the street? Why does it feel like a history repeat? Maybe one day.
Maybe one day, all criminals will have actually committed crimes. Maybe one day, all people will find peace when they die. Maybe one day, having more melanin in your skin won't be such a sin. Maybe one day, there'll be more playgrounds and less prisons. Maybe one day, there'll be more people keeping people in mind. Less black people trying to keep peace by keeping their head and their people down. Maybe one day, there will be more freedom and more smiles. Maybe one day.
My son will be able to walk down these streets without being harassed by these cops walking their beat, seeking to beat the black off the next nigga. Don't blink too hard now, son. Their fingers resting on the trigger. Terrified every time my child leaves out this door. Heartbreaking, praying I'll be able to lay eyes on him once more. Wishing I could tell every single cop that I see, please leave my child alone. Let him come home to me. But who the hell am I kidding? They really don't care what I have to say. Because if they did, these other mothers will still have their sons with them here today. But hey, maybe one day.
This violence will cease to exist so that we can live in peace and exist and not be worried about the bodies of our loved ones being buried, slaughtered by the hands of the same complexion, gunned down by the ones that vow to serve and protect us, lynched by the hands of the next ethnicity, forgetting that we all have those same basic human rights for life, liberty, and to just be happy. Maybe one day we won't have to march, protest, and wear shirts that say R.I.P. or shirts that say hands up, don't shoot, because the mental insanity controls this generation's humanity will no longer prohibit, but exhibit the peace and serenity that comes with unity. And united we stand, divided we fall will not be no longer a saying, but it will be the way of living. But don't mind me. I'm just praying out loud. Maybe one day.
I used to want kids. 3 boys and 1 girl. I used to think of motherhood and how good it would be for cute little caramel babies to call me mommy. But now, I think about the mothers who had to bury their sons in the ground. What was their purpose for being pushed out? To be pushed out? Once beaten, whipped, now choked and shot. Once slave owners on the field, now we call them cops. But not even racism or the abuse of authority can outnumber the murders done by black men to black men. Maybe one day all of that will change, and that'll be the day I'll want kids again. 3 boys and 1 girl. Maybe one day.
Maybe one day they will protect and serve, not just for themselves, but for us all. Because the last thing I want is to receive that call saying that one of my 5 brothers have been gunned down by the boys in blue, and ma'am, this time we don't have a video, so we don't have any proof, and there's not much to do. Maybe one day. Maybe one day they will stop using our backs for target practice instead for pats for asking us if we're okay, because they care and they want to be there. And they start doing the things that they promise and swear to protect and serve. Maybe one day.
Our men don't have to die because they're armed with power and strength and a skin color that'll never put us in good graces with a society that apparently wants to be done with us. When will justice be a must? In God we trust? No. For lives you lust. I'm convinced this has become a game that they play. How many lives can we take? The darker, the bigger pay. Well, let's just say, one day this doesn't happen anymore, and we actually start coexisting peacefully and pleasing our Lord. Maybe one day.
Because there are no politicians that go out personally patrolling or politicking in the projects. So I'll be blunt and focused on logic by pointing out the obvious. If you're from the wrong side of the tracks, you're poor, or you're black, or your home address is not secured with a white picket fence, or it ain't nestled in a quiet, cozy little cul-de-sac, instead you may pay a fee or even live for free, occupying a section of government-owned bricks where you cohabitate with the roaches and the rats, as broken spirits go out and create that exact injuries to their backs every day for that never enough pay. But maybe one day we can have a reality while African-American males are no longer a casualty. A day where we can envision a life without them having to do a stint in prison. Or for our young black girls to be crowned prom queens instead of just another pregnant teen. Letting them know that they have alternative options, like attending and graduating colleges, knowing that they can accomplish absolutely anything. Maybe one day, people will pick up Bibles instead of bottles, seal in cracks rather than smoking it, so not another soul is able to slip through them again. Or for those ones who swore to protect and serve, won't find it so absurd to frisk a Caucasian kid crossing the curb in the suburbs. Oh no, they're not the ones that's committing the drive-bys, but they are the ones that's going to school committing the mass homicides and suicide, but I guess that's acceptable, right? Whereas if a black kid is just suspected, if he ain't immediately arrested, he may not make it to trial to be tried. Pow! On the spot, he died. See, I don't know what part of the world you're living in, but this right here is the America we're witnessing. But maybe one day we'll eventually get some help, since we can't seem to come together and fix it ourselves. But hey, maybe one day.